All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is in the class that you're in. I'm here with Josh Mickelson, Detroit Lakes High School graduate, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself.
Yep. So, like Mike said, my name's Josh Mickelson. I grew up in Detroit Lakes, born and raised here. Graduated from here in 2013, so a long time ago to me. After I graduated here, I went up to M State in Moorhead and did 2 years of school there, where I got my technical transfer degree, call it. And after that, I went to NDSU. Went and got my mechanical engineering degree, so bachelor's in mechanical engineering. So basically, when it was all said and done, it was a 5-year deal. So 2 years at M State, 3 years at NDSU, and then I went out into the real world from there. So when I was at NDSU, I had a couple different internships, and the internship started at Polaris up in Roseau, Minnesota. And after I spent 2 summers there kind of learning and working through what those guys do, I knew for sure that's the company I wanted to go back to. And so ever since I graduated college in 2018, moved up to Roseau, and this will be my 4th year full-time up in Roseau. So at Polaris, where I work, my title is a development engineer, so I work 100% of the time on snowmobiles, which is pretty much my dream job. Snowmobiles are the thing I'm most passionate about in everything that I do. So it's pretty cool to be able to wake up every morning and go to work and basically be able to put all the ideas and things you've been thinking about on how to make something better into what you do 10, 12 hours a day. And it's pretty rewarding at the end of the day or at the end of a project when you can be able to contribute on a team and work through some stuff and come up with a product that's like makes somebody smile at the end of the day and makes somebody super passionate about what I'm also passionate about.
Awesome. So we're going to go off script just here a little bit. Tell me about that transfer degree. Was that always the plan to go 2 years at M State, or did that just happen?
It cut to some degree. There was a little bit of planning there. There was a few things that I wanted to live on my own. I wasn't really thinking about doing the whole dorm life, so that was one thing that M State allowed me to do, was to go get an apartment with a couple other friends and do it that way. But the biggest thing that made me go to a tech school was I wanted a little bit smaller interaction and closer interaction with my professor so that I could learn and apply things a little bit better. And the other thing was just cost. It was a little bit cheaper to go to M State and be able to have lower living costs and lower tuition and lower things. So those are kind of the factors that made me go to the transfer.
So you got all of your general requirements done while you were at M State.
Exactly. Yep.
Excellent. So what is your degree right now? What did you graduate with?
Bachelor's in mechanical engineering.
Okay, bachelor's in mechanical engineering. Awesome. All right. So this job at Polaris, is this where you always saw yourself? Is this the pie in the sky job for you?
Pretty much. So ever since I was little, my dad would take me snowmobiling. I would sit between his legs on the snowmobile when I was 4 or 5 years old. And I mean, that's what I love to do. Like I said, it's my passion, so I love snowmobiling all the time. So I was thinking about it ever since I was little. And then probably about 7th grade, we had a start of kind of what opportunities were out there in career stuff. And I remember going through a pie chart and seeing mechanical engineering. And my dad's a mechanic, so he fixes cars for a living. And so I've always kind of grew up a gearhead. And I thought, well, and I always liked drawing stuff. And I remember building Legos when I was a little kid. And I was like, gosh, what if I could build and design and do all that stuff? Well, mechanical engineering was there. And I was like, can I do that with snowmobiles? Let's put them together. And I grew up riding a Polaris ever since I was a little kid. So pretty much since 7th grade, Polaris has kind of been the place I've wanted to get to.
Okay. So what's a typical day look like for you?
It's very dynamic
at
work. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. But a lot of times it's come in 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, read through some different logs of our test driving crew that goes out and rides our product. For their job is to ride our snowmobiles. So a lot of the times it's reading through what those guys have. And then a lot of the times it's grab my computer and go out and spend time on the snowmobile riding. And we have different processes in which we collect information on the snowmobiles, but basically we go out, test the machines, swap a whole bunch of different parts and ideas that we've been working on into those machines.
Timing.
Yeah, swap a whole bunch of different parts in these machines while we're monitoring the vehicle with those chunks of data. Come back at the end of the day, process some of that data, and by the end of the winter we can accumulate all these information and help us make decisions on how to make the product better. So
interesting. So you ride, you swap something out, you ride some more, and you're just constantly monitoring how did that change affect.
Exactly. So
Excellent.
we basically develop a whole bunch of different procedures to go evaluate something swap parts out within those procedures, come back at the end of the day and make decisions on how to make it better. So it's a lot of time on the seat, which is exactly what I want to do.
So perfect segue into my next question. So what is it you like best about your job?
Riding the snowmobiles for sure. Spending time riding snowmobiles so that not only I can get better as a rider, so that I can make the product better, so that when the consumers get it, they have the perfect experience. But yeah, for sure, riding.
Okay. So is Polaris a good company to work for?
100%. I love it. The people there make it. You know, it's up in Roseau, Minnesota, and a lot of people are like, Roseau, that's a long ways from anywhere. And it is. But I've made lifelong friends there. So the people there obviously make it there because not only am I passionate about it, they're just as passionate about it. So when you work with somebody who's super passionate about what they do, it drives you to be better and drives you to work with them to come up with something really cool. So the people are awesome. The product's awesome. And then obviously all the other stuff that comes with it is important too, benefits and whatnot that are very nice. But
Excellent. So then, other end of the spectrum, is there anything you don't like about your job or you struggle with your job?
as always, when you work with big groups of people, sometimes things get challenging and you have to learn and adapt how you work with different attitudes and stuff. But I don't know that there's a lot of negatives that I have to say about work. There's so many positives that it kind of drowns out any thought of negatives that go on.
Excellent. So when we talked to your dad a little bit about his life as a mechanic, he said even at 58 years old, he's going back to school constantly. Is that a part of your job too?
100%. I'm learning something every day. We were just talking before this how I was sitting in a classroom with one of my coworkers and we were doing basic acceleration and velocity curves of stuff that we were working on, and it was just reminded us of how we were back in school learning the basics of that stuff and now how we're applying it every day. And we even looking at those basic things, we were learning new things about how to process stuff and how to learn things and how to help us make a decision. So absolutely 100% learning every day.
Excellent. So last question. So if you were going to give advice, somebody coming through this academy model here in Detroit Lakes, 15, 16 years old, what would you tell them?
Seek out, take initiative, and look for experience. So it sounds like we're doing some awesome things in the school to be able to expose people and help them learn what they're good at and learn what they love. But I would just take any opportunity you have outside of school to be able to work on a project, whether it's wrenching in the shop or, going to a gym or experiencing things with other people. Go out and find those experiences and do them so that you can learn more about yourself and learn more about what's out there for you to go and do.
So did you do an internship when you were at Detroit Lakes High School?
I did. I started, I think it was a junior. I ended up doing it for 2 years, in fact, my memory serves me right, at SJ Electrical. So I was out there and I learned the basics of some CAD, some design stuff, and working with the team was the biggest thing. So spent two years, I think, doing that.
All right. So any last words of wisdom for you to have for our students here at Detroit Lakes High School?
I would say just be passionate about what you want to do and follow that path. So if you know you're passionate about something, go 100% full throttle on that.
All right, excellent. Everybody, thank you. Josh Mickelson, Detroit Lakes class of 2013.
Long time ago.
All right.